Okay, I guess this is recording. Audio good? Okay. So I'm getting tons of messages about this cluster of planets in Pisces that are going to occur on March 29th. How is that going to affect you? What is going to happen? You're worried. It's most likely 99.9% nothing's going to happen. That day is going to come. And even that month, next month is just going to be like your normal, regular life. Okay. I'm not talking about all 8 billion people, but I'm talking about the people who are concerned about this particular alignment. So let me show you. Okay. Um, so let's say this is the alignment. Okay. Well, no, this is the chart that I was, never mind. Um, let's just change this to March 29th. Okay. So let's say this is the alignment is happening. Saturn, Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Sun. Okay. If you want to add, you can add Monday in there too. And then obviously, if you notice, Venus, Mercury are also retrograde during this time. That means many people are going to adjust things about their income, things about their communications. They're going to go revert back to older things on how to do things. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on this cluster. Okay. So it's not going to affect you in a short term. Like on that day, something can happen, this and that. For example, next month, I even said this on my X account and even on my careers vlogs that when Mars goes into Cancer next month on April 4th or 6th, I believe, yeah, you may hear things connected with some disaster related to ships, yachts, boats, submarines. Okay. Because Mars before or because right now Saturn and Mars are in trine, Aquarius, Gemini, since the beginning of the year, which is why you heard about air disasters, air sign. Now it's going to be converted to water. Okay, till May. Okay, after that, Mars will leave the site of Saturn. But when this cluster occurs of all these planets, okay, what this shows that the transit of Saturn for the next 2.5 years. So the next 2.5 years, and let's say this person is a Taurus ascendant, Saturn is getting the momentum of Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Moon, Sun. So this transit that is being initiated on this particular day, and all these planets will move out within the month. Okay, and then only Saturn will be left in Pisces. But Saturn has taken the energy of all these planets for 2.5 years, which means now for Taurus ascendant, if this was somebody's chart, your social life is going to be finding a brand new spark. Because third, seventh, and 11th house is what? It's originally known as the Kama houses of communications and of social gatherings. Okay. Especially the 11th house, which is the house of social gatherings, house of activism, house of committees, house of large organizations. So now your karma, which is Saturn, which is transiting in the 11th house, is going to force you to now go and explore things in a big way. Is going to force, not even force you, it's going to put you in situations where now you are going to find a bigger network circles. You're going to find a bigger group of people related to your profession. Things are going to expand with Ketu to new heights. Okay. And of course, when it moves into new heights, Venus is retrograde, right? Venus is moving towards Saturn. Rahu is moving towards Saturn. Mercury is moving towards Saturn. Beautiful alignment in a way, if you look at it, especially with Venus, Mercury being Uttara Bhadrapada, which is a nakshatra connected with Lakshmi. So in this particular case, we see that, see, how can I explain this? So let's say this is, so let's see if I can do this. Okay. So this is Venus, this is Saturn. In the middle, you've got, let's say, this Rahu, right? Venus is moving here, Saturn is moving forward, so that means what? Your momentum of life is going to be like, let's go. Let's do things in a big way. Let's make money in a big way. Because in this particular case, the retrograde Venus and Mercury are going to help a lot of, well, not just a lot of people, everybody who has this particular, whoever is living, is going to say next 2.5 years, I'm coming close to you, meaning opportunity to make money. I'm coming towards you. Your work is going to get opportunity to make more money and to expand yourself. And this especially asks for Saturn, Rahu. So now you're going to see even a more of an explosion of people to either explore foreign opportunities, getting foreign opportunities. Even we think we're seeking opportunities, actually, the momentum in the sky, the movement in the sky is making you do these things. And when Saturn is pushing through, Saturn is going to meet Rahu and then meet Venus. So that means Rahu needs to be utilized in this particular situation. So that means either a person is going to have to explore far reaches beyond their own scope. You're living in a small town. Let's say you're living in Orissa, India, small town. Well, now situation is going to show a lot of migration around the world related to profession, that, hey, things are not working out for me here. I got to go. I'm going to go to Mumbai. I'm going to go to New Delhi. And I'm going to seek my opportunity. Something's going to implant something in your subconscious now. And because obviously it's the 11th house of gains. So of course, if you look at it for a Taurus ascendant person, is going to naturally show that if you want gains, it's going to come through the more communication you do, because Mercury itself is coming towards Saturn. You say, hey, I'm coming towards you. Utilize me. And I'm going to make you utilize me somehow, some way. Now, if Mercury originally in your birth chart is not great, yeah, you're going to make those mistakes. It's going to make you make mistakes. So, of course, this is where then the other paradigm comes into play, that your chart is going to show, can you take advantage of all of these conjunctions? Okay. Because eventually Saturn is also going to show with Moon and Sun that there needs to be a movement. And when you move, when you have changes, when you do different things, you're going to ultimately find Sun. What is what? Sun, especially Nadi, success. You're going to be finding success. So when you say what's going to happen, is something dramatic going to happen? No, it's not going to happen. What it shows is that the path of Saturn for the 2.5 years is going to be clustered around with the energy of these planets. See, and this is why I said this is a great time, because Venus is retrograde, while Saturn is going towards Venus and Venus is moving towards Saturn. And in order for you to get that Venus, you have to go through Rahu. And Rahu nowadays also is social media. And again, somebody also asked me, okay, so everybody's on social media. In the next 10 years, probably 75% of the world might be on social media. What's going to happen? It's going to be saturated. No, because only the people who have the chart to gain money through social media, they will make money through social media. Otherwise, if you see many people, they keep putting out content, like an Instagram or TikTok, especially TikTok, you know, um, they're putting so much content. And especially when I do readings, so I've done readings of People from TikTok having 2 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers, and they cannot find a way to pay their bills. And that's a shock. Like, really? 3 million? You should be balling. No, they're not. They can barely make 1,800 a month, dollar wise. So it's not about everybody getting on there. Everybody needs to do this. No, your chart needs to show that can you gain through social media? Okay, you'll gain. If you're not, you're going to have to find a different path to find your sustainability. Like people, everybody has, let's say, Facebook accounts. My mother has a Facebook account, but it's not generating anything for her, just for her to connect with her family, her old cousins, and her family in India. It's there. So, but those who have, whether Saturn, Rahu will represent, a lot of people who are in acupuncture and Chinese medicine, I've always seen Saturn, Rahu somehow connect. But Saturn, Rahu will show if somebody's in, let's say, softwares, why doing anything with Wi-Fi, AI. Okay. AI is Rahu, Ketu both. Okay. Okay, this is going to be great momentum for you. Okay. But instead of, let's say, being on social media, Saturn, Rahu will say, hey, you've been in your city for such a long time to move. And it may not have done that in the previous 2.5 years or 2.5 years when he was in Capricorn or Sagittarius. It's because the day this initiation is happening. Okay. Gochar Pravesh, as we call it, Gochar Pravesh. In Gochar Pravesh, Saturn is meeting all these things, all these planets. Okay. Like, for example, if you, let's say somebody who's a Gemini ascendant. Well, guess what? Now, time to get ready for work. Time to get ready for work because you're going to be married to your work. Why? Because you're going to see that, wow, whenever I work more, I am getting great benefits. Whenever I consume myself in work, I'm getting a great result. But yeah, there's always two sides to the same coin. Because if the cluster of planets is here and Saturn is getting its energy from all these planets, what's going to happen? What's going to be ignored? You're going to ignore the family part because Ketu's in the fourth during this particular transit. So yeah, your marriage, home, you're going to ignore that. You're going to be like, I was working 8 hours, 6, 7 hours a day. Hey, if I work 11 hours, I'm making this much. Somehow you're going to be consumed in that. Okay. You look at, let's say, Cancer, ninth house of luck, divinity, guru. Naturally, this person is going to be focused on suddenly finding themselves seeing results connected with their sadhana. Especially ninth house is guru, teaching, counseling, publishing. Teaching, publishing something. Even in this day of Chat GPT, you're going to find somebody who's going to be a #1 New York Times bestseller and selling 10 million copies in one day. It's going to keep happening. Okay. So someone will always, no matter what the situation is, going to happen. So now here it says, you want to increase your luck? Well, go out there and teach something. Go out there and show through the energy of Rahu, Venus, Mercury, Sun, Moon, Sun. The Uday of Bhagya will happen. The more you focus on your guru's teaching, focusing on guru, the more it's going to happen. So just like that, you can keep going around in every particular ascendant. Scorpio, the majority of the cluster is going to be in the fifth house. That means you want to progress in your career, learn something that you have not learned before. Why? Because Saturn is going towards Rahu. Rahu is that unorthodox energy. Rahu is the outcast. Learn something outcast. You're a software engineer, you're a software programmer. How about you learn something about Swarvigyan? How through the breath you can gain tremendous amount of success in your life. That knowledge is there. Saturn is naturally upon Vayu. So the Vayu part, and I'm just saying this, it's upon Vayu in any house. But I'm just giving an example where, hey, learn, enhance your Vayu, or go learn astrology. Let's say you are an accountant, go learn something about AI. Why? Because when you learn something about AI, you get some kind of a small course certification is going to somehow affect this Venus. So this is how you want to understand this particular cluster of planets of Saturn, of all this energy that is being concentrated in this one particular house of Pisces. It's saying that I am now moving forward for the next 2.5 years with these energy of planets. Now, where they go in the next 2-3 months, it's okay. I got their energy. Okay, so hopefully this has given a clear light on how these things are going to be, mattering in your particular chart. Like actually, one more example I wanted to give here. Let's just say Leo. Okay. So cluster of planets are in the 8th house of transformation. Okay. For especially Leo ascendant people, sadhana becomes very important to find success in your profession and career. Okay. The other thing, especially, you will see many, many Leo ascendant people throughout the world will somehow find some interest in occult, some interest in things like astrology, mysticism. Not those who are in astrology already and, watching this video. I'm talking about somebody who has never even heard of it, somehow will come across it. This is especially if, let's say, you're at that particular age and time for inheritance. It shows big, huge things will come suddenly, especially through inheritance, insurance. And again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen with everybody, but this also shows that one can suddenly gain a burst of money, whether let's say it's through stocks or crypto or something, or lottery or something. But there's the Saturn's energy says, I am going to give you something now for 2.5 years, but it's going to be in a sudden bursts. In sudden bursts, I'm going to give you things. And because the energy of Saturn is going into the 8th, which is Saturn is the Karka of the 8th. This is Ayush Karka, right? It is not the Karka of death, it's the Karka of showing how much of life that you have. Okay. Here for Leo ascendants is going to show when you align yourself with that Rahu, Venus, Mercury, it's going to extend your success even more. And you're going to be able to transform your entire life if you were to align. Now, if you're not aligned, then it's going to become a frustration. It's going to become a big frustration. Okay. So hopefully this has helped. And also remember my new option 13B on my curiousastrology.com. You will see with wristwatch and signature analysis. So that's there now. So anyway, hopefully this has helped.